How you doing? It's Heather and Phil, and we are here at the Summit Knobs Equestrian Trail. I don't have a camera other than the video camera I'm using, and the reason we're here, well, we come here all the time because we love to do bird photography here, but today is Sunday, May the 22nd, and on Tuesday, May the 24th, all the rumors are saying that Canon is going to announce the R7, which should be an R-mount APS-C camera with 32.5 megapixels, and it should have the same autofocus system as my R6, which you can see in the background. Today Heather is shooting with my R6. I got to thinking, because Heather said she's going to order one. I'm definitely going to order one, and Heather was talking about ordering one, and I thought to myself, well, Heather always shoots with the Z50. She's never even tried the Canon autofocus system. So today Heather is making prairie warbler photos out the window, and this is her first time ever using the Canon autofocus system.
Bird's eye.
I've got my R6 set up to where when you're reviewing pictures it shows you where the autofocus point was when you made the picture, and she's got this very small in the frame prairie warbler that she's looking at, and you can see the red square right on the bird's head. So what are you thinking about it?
I'm in love.
So you think you might, I mean, you were already going to order one, but now you have actually used it.
Yeah.
Here is Heather's first photograph she ever shared that was made with a Canon camera. It's a beautiful prairie warbler, only 1/200th of a second, even at 700 millimeters, and no motion blur. Pretty high up in the tree, looks like. I couldn't even see it from this side of the car. Oh yeah, you got it. How's your sharpness?
Yeah, it's good.
It looks really small, like you might have to gigapixel it.
Yeah.
Which is the whole reason why I want an R7. Here are a couple of yellow-breasted chat photographs that Heather made using the R6 and the 100 to 500 with the teleconverter. And all of these pictures that Heather shared, except for the very last one, are run through Topaz Gigapixel to get a little bit more resolution. This is something that probably won't be a problem at all with the high resolution and high pixel density R7 coming soon. Heather's working on an Eastern Phoebe now.
There's two.
Two of them? Yeah. Cool. Here is a cropped and run through gigapixel raw file of a Eastern Phoebe that Heather photographed, and let's take a look at how it looks after she edited it. Wow, isn't that something? Heather is a brilliant photo editor, and a lot of times when people look at her photographs in my videos, they say, man, those Nikon colors are really something. Wow, look at those Nikon colors. And I always have said, no, I think that's, look at those Heather colors. And these photographs in this video where Heather is using Canon gear are excellent examples of, it's not the camera, but the photo editor who is making the colors so beautiful. In here is one more Phoebe photo. Well, now Heather is trying out the 800 f11, and she's got the teleconverter on, and this is 1120 millimeters, and you know, she's probably not going to get an 800 for her R7 because it has that 1.6 crop. But if you put the 500 and the 1.4 teleconverter on the R7 with its 1.6 crop, it would be 1120 millimeters equivalent, which is what she's using now, 1120 millimeters. The difference is it'll have a better minimum focus distance, and this is at f16, and that other combination with the 500 and the 1.4 teleconverter would be f10. Let's take a look at the wide-eyed Vireo photos that she got. Here is Heather's beautiful white-eyed Vireo photograph that she got using the RF 800 f11 and the 1.4 teleconverter. She was able to get the autofocus point to land right on the bird's eye, and here is another photograph that she made with that combination. This is a prairie warbler, and this photo is the only photo in this entire video that she did not run gigapixel on. Heather had the same difficulty with the 800 f11 that I did when I first got it, and that is the natural place to hold the lens is right here at the manual focus override, and you have to be careful because while you're setting up your shot, if you are touching that, the lens won't focus. You know, if you're moving that around even slightly. So I keep this plate on here, this Arca Swiss plate, and I try to hold it by that plate. Well, Heather had a little photo shoot with the Canon, and let's talk a little bit about what you thought about it. How did you compare the autofocus system to what you're used to from your Nikon camera?
Well, with my Nikon camera, I'm used to shooting basically in single point, where I put the point where I want to compose the image and then focus on the bird, which, you know, sometimes I'm holding a really heavy lens and it's hard to hold that focus point right at the same spot. And this just bagged the eye almost every time there was an eye in the frame for the bird.
So that's cool. So the 800 lens has a smaller, it doesn't use the whole screen, and then the 100 to 500 uses the whole screen, and then the 100 to 500 with a teleconverter uses nearly the whole screen. So so the 800 is probably the hardest to use, but and then there was that one time when you were using the 800 lens and the bird was really close to minimum focus distance, and it seemed like there was no focusing going on whatsoever, but it was probably closer than this lens can focus. But your initial reaction is what I thought was really something when you first got that prairie warbler in the frame, and it was so small in the frame, and yet it was still putting the focus point on the bird's eye.
Yeah.
And you were kind of hooting and hollering over there.
Yeah, it was quite awesome. It was very different.
Yeah, very different than what you're used to. Now the Nikon cameras will do that with a person.
Yeah.
And they'll do that with a dog, not as or a cat, not as close, I don't think, as this camera, or not as far away, as this camera will do it. You know, you were going to go ahead and order one of these, assuming it comes out Tuesday, and now that you've had the experience with the Canon autofocus system, you still think you're going to get an R7, or you decided to hold off?
No, I want one. If it's launched on Tuesday, I want one.
What if it's launched on Tuesday and it does not have this autofocus system?
I probably won't get one.
Okay, so it's really all about the autofocus system for you, and I already have that autofocus system, so for me it's all about the pixel density, so I can crop a lot and still have a lot of pixels where the small birds that we photograph are. All right, well, we appreciate you tuning in for this little getting ready for the R7 video, and hopefully it will be announced Tuesday, and if so, we're going to order some. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.